Good morning, everyone. What is up? It is your friend, your pal, your boy, Jason Gulick. I'm hanging out with my partner in crime. I don't know if he's to your right, to your up, or wherever, but Mark Deeds Kladzinski. And
Good
to
morning.
my right, two doors down, the inventor, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Richie Blue from Mayyker Products. What is shaking, Richie?
Cheers, guys. Cheers. What's up?
Cheers.
Oh, happy
Happy
Wednesday.
Happy
I just let
Wednesday.
out a sigh of relief because anytime we have a guest that's important, they're all important to me, but you are somebody that I've been trying to track down for quite some time. And we're finally here. There's no kinks, there's no bugs, there's no nothing. It's just Deeds, Richie Blue, and your boy Goo. We're
We're here
here.
holding it down.
We are holding
Yep.
it down.
With their
Holding
coffee.
it down with a cup of coffee.
Let me see your coffee mug real quick, Jason. Mark, what do you got there?
I've got a 30-ounce cheers, buddy. I've got a 30
Cheers.
ounce cold brew going. Tink.
Yeah,
Okay,
mine's about
my nephew made this for us. My brothers and I. See all the different birds on there?
Oh,
yeah,
sweet.
very
Yeah,
nice.
because we're kind of bird geeks,
Uh-huh.
and these are all the birds we saw. These are the rare birds we saw last year. There's a long-tailed duck. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Is
There's
that a
a
yellow tit?
Yep, that one is that's a good question. You got me stumped now. This is a Western tanager. My brain is still not awake yet.
A couple more
The,
coffees.
yeah, the Western tanager, this is only in like Mexico and like California, maybe in Arizona, and one blew off course and landed here in Pennsylvania last year. It was pretty cool.
Neat.
But I got one of those. Got
So, Richie, I don't know if you've had a chance. Let's see what you got. You got your
what's up?
Yeah.
WCR cup.
This is
I
my
don't even have one of those.
I use
That's the
these a
one.
lot. My wife went to
That's,
If
the
he
internet
doesn't
to buy one.
it means he's got a resentment towards you. So just let him work it out. Let him, he's going to therapy and stuff. And when he gets through his resentment, he'll get you one of these. If he has a resentment, he won't tell you he does. He just has it and then he won't give you a cup. That's how you know.
I think
So,
that's the only swag that I don't have from WCR right now.
yeah.
I don't know if you've had an opportunity to check out any of our shows, but a bunch of our friends pop in the mornings as well. Of course, somebody that you're familiar with, somebody's is very close to me and close to my heart. Our friend Damien, he's in the building. Adam Hogan Jr.
Okay.
is
And his
here.
wife. His wife's an angel, man.
She's the
Mhm.
best. Rachel is absolutely outstanding. She's really the secret behind that sauce.
Yeah, our wives are the
Tyler
secret behind
Levi
all of our
Smith is
sauce.
here. Nick Williams, Master Squeegee is here. Grace Victoria Nugent is here. Mark Tanner's in the building.
Mark Tanner.
And Gabe Gutierrez is here as well. So a bunch of heavy hitters joining us and having some coffee with us this morning.
Cool.
And Fred, my dog, of course.
What kind of dog is that?
He is a lab mix. We got him from a rescue a few years ago. And he is a pain in the butt whenever Mark and I decide to go live. That's when he decides he wants to pay attention to what's going on. I already gave him 2 treats and he's like, okay, whatever, Dad. So Richie, what did you do? Did you have any other jobs? Like what jobs did you have before window cleaning?
I was in quite a few things. Casted a wide net. I was always self-employed to some degree. I mean, the only times I had like real jobs where like I punched a clock is when I was supplementing my income while trying to get my business, whatever that was, off the ground. For a lot of years, I did historical restorations on
Okay.
historical homes. Yeah, mostly the cosmetic stuff, painting and stuff like that. And so I did work for the historical society guy that ran all that, and so that was one thing I did. I actually sold area rugs one time. It was so random, dude. I did that for like a couple of years. I remember I was start at that time. I started window cleaning glass in '86, and I remember I worked for this one guy for a couple of years, showed me the ropes, and then I was out trying to do my own thing. So I was picking up all these odd jobs while I was building up my clientele.
Yeah.
That was one of them, and yeah, just a few things. Got it. Obviously, did the restaurant circuit. Doing whatever and that. I had this one job at a a Marriott, and they hired me to wash dishes, right? And so I was washing the dishes, and the manager, I guess I was the best dishwasher they ever had, right? Because I'd show up early, I'd leave late, and the hotel general manager, he kept coming back trying to get me to. He wanted to promote me, he wanted to get, hey, we got to get you out on the floor. You make better money, you should. Drive the bus or do serve, because they had waiters and stuff there. Or you could do this, you could do that. And I kept saying, no, 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 I don't want a promotion. I just wanted to stay in the kitchen and do my little wash the dishes. I didn't want to deal with anybody. And then I said, okay, well, I'm going to be leaving here pretty soon. And he's like, no, you can't leave. So he gave me a $2 an hour raise, right? Like I was like the highest paid dishwasher ever in that place at the Marriott. That was so fun. But I made a lot of friends. So anyway, I stuck it out for a couple more months, and then I finally left that place. But yeah, there's more. I mean, I did a lot of things.
Well, a lot of the guys in our industry too, we have to supplement kind of like what you're saying. If you're just starting a business,
Yeah,
in the beginning, you can't just live off of, the crumbs of the window cleaning that you get. Sometimes you have to do multiple gigs. A
yeah.
lot of
That's what's
times,
great about doing storefronts, because once you lock them in, now you got steady income. Like, and that's the best way I think to start a window cleaning business. Get the storefronts going, get them on schedule once every 2 weeks, once every 4 weeks, whatever the rotation is, and build that up. And now you got a nice chunk of cash coming in every month. And take the residentials when they come and all that. But yeah, so
so
I
were
know,
you?
know you didn't ask me that, but I just thought I'd throw it out.
No, and it's a great tip.
That's
And a
great.
lot of, so, we have people who have been cleaning glass for 30 plus years that watch the show. And then we have guys who have been in for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Like literally, there's a gentleman who just came in the room, Cody Smith. He said, I think 2 episodes ago, he's like, hey, I'm in my third week. So we have a guy like Cody who's 3 weeks in, who's
mhm,
watching a show with myself. I've got about 20 in. Dee's got about 5 or 6 in. Craig Hensel had 30, whatever, 38 years in. So
mhm.
we have a wide variety of people who watch and listen to the show. And that's a great tidbit. And the storefronts, sometimes people, they don't like the smaller money that it brings initially. But once you
Yeah.
build that route, that's exactly, you're exactly right. You're setting yourself up for success. Um,
Yeah, there's other benefits too. To with the storefronts, what happens, like my experience with those is that you develop better, long-lasting relationships with your customers because you see them often, and then other things spring out of that. Like you you end up needing some other kind of service, or some product or something that they happen to have or sell, and now you got an in, and you get deals and stuff like that. And there's just, and I've been invited to like parties, and well, let's just say I've been invited to a lot of parties once, because once they start drinking, they don't invite me back anymore. I don't drink.
gotcha.
That was a bad joke, man.
No,
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 No, it
no.
was good.
there's the benefits of the relationships you develop, and it depends too, like if you're a social person, and you like to chat it up with people, or engage with them, however, the storefronts are kind of nice. So
Absolutely. I don't have too much commercial or storefront work, but the stuff that I do have, I've had for over 5 years. I do have one. We do something, the air traffic control towers. I've only had that for about a little over a year now. But like you're talking about the relationships, right? I do this restaurant. I've been doing it for almost 6 years now, and I wanted to host an event, and I needed a place to host it. They had a great parking lot for it. And I asked them, and she said, sure. So I hosted a home service expo and car show. And I called a bunch of friends, and we set up like the whole parking lot. A bunch of hot rods came out, and
yeah,
I had some of my friends in the business. They didn't, the restaurant didn't charge me because I was bringing people to their restaurant.
mhm,
Um, they didn't charge me for lease or anything like that for space. and we had a great party, man. And it was a really, really, really good time. And it was because of the relationships that I had built through cleaning windows. So that just goes to show that's just a, bookend exactly what you're talking about, building those relationships.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, you don't see the value in them right away sometimes, but down the line, sometimes years later, I run into these people and you're like, hey, what's up? And like, I don't know, it's just kind of nice. So,
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, what is your title right now? I mean, what is your title and what are some of your responsibilities?
uh, well, I think you might know,
One of
Jason.
your titles, not, and I'm sure you have a lot of them.
Yeah, well, there's three of us now, three partners in Maker.
Mhm.
There's Casper, the friendly ghost who you probably met, and then Nils.
Mhm.
You met Nils. I don't know if you met any of those guys, Mark. Have you met?
Yeah, I met Nils. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
cool guy.
to break it down, I mean, Nils kind of handles up on like the marketing and the moving the product to the distributor sales and things like that. And then Casper works, he streamlines all the production and the the warehousing, where and all that, and hiring people to make the stuff. And I do mostly, I do not a lot. I just do podcasts, and yeah, that's about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
I design all the equipment, and that's my main thing. And then I do some collaborative stuff with Nils and Casper with the production and the marketing. But that's and they'll kind of have some input, like when I'm working on a design. So we kind of have our own little wheelhouses that we do, but then we kind of collaborate sometimes a little bit. And but ultimately, for example, anything going down with the production stuff at the end of the day, Casper has the final say on how that's going to go down. And even so, me and Nils could sit there and say, I think you're doing it wrong, you should do this and that, and Casper's like, I don't agree with you. And so he'll just but usually it'll be
Boom.
with collaborate. So that's kind of how the dynamics works with all of us. So yeah.
That sounds like the most effective way to get things done,
Yeah.
especially when people like it sounds like you kind of all know your roles, like you know what you're good at.
Development too. I mean, that's another thing. That's why I'm constantly doing that, researching and prototyping stuff. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry,
No, no, I'm just I think I find that to be one of the best ways for businesses and organizations to work is when people know their roles and when they're good at them, and then they finish their product or their project that they're doing, and then bounce it off of everybody else to get the feedback. Because what might look good to you might not look good to somebody else, and vice versa. And or they may have good little ideas on how you can tweak it and make it even better.
Yeah, yeah. Like sometimes, like for example, if I'm working on a design and I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but then I get to talking with Casper and he thinks it's great too. But then we get into finding out, oh well, the production end of this is not going to be so awesome, and here's why: because we need this particular material, we have to import this because nobody makes it and it comes from Indonesia, or we have to make it so it's affordable, and so we can't line it with 14 karat gold like we were
Yeah.
planning. We have to use like copper or whatever, like
Myrrh.
yeah. So there's things like that. So you get it. So you start with conception and you go to, by the time you get to the end, you have a semblance of what you wanted to have, and you do your best. At least we do, because our whole thing is quality window cleaning materials. So we do our best not to compromise the integrity of the products that we're putting out. But at the same time, we have to be somewhat competitive as much as possible. We realized, like we knew going in the gate when Casper and I started, that we weren't going to be the cheapest guys because we wanted to put out like we didn't want to just do the high production Chinese kind of stuff. We wanted to do something more. And Casper and I agreed on that. Like, because I said to him, I said, look, man, these window cleaners they've been treated like vagabonds and homeless people, like for decades. Like it's like they deserve respect, man. They're valuable. I mean, we can't be giving them like these consumer grade items that just they deserve more. Like a carpenter, like has he's going to buy a real carpenter is going to buy the more expensive hammer because he uses it all the time. It's going to last him a long time. And then the guy that really doesn't care, or the consumer, he's going to use it once or twice. He'll use the cheap hammer.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Was that too much information?
No, not at all.
No.
Let me ask you a question. You're in research and development and production. Can you tell me, or can you tell us about something that you thought was going to be a huge success that maybe didn't work out so well? Or that you had to just completely redo. Like you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, this doesn't cut it.
I think that's kind of like, to answer your question, yes and no. Like there's a lot of the stuff that I start out with ends up being changed at the end. So you start from conception and you think it's a great idea and this and that. Like for example, the bags,
Yeah.
or bag system. When I came up with that originally, I was prototyping bags. In fact, I gave one to TJ and Mark. I might give one to Mark Tanner too. I think TJ still has that first prototype bag I gave him like several years ago. And it didn't have a Molly system on it or anything. It just had like all these awesome pockets everywhere for all the different basic window cleaning tools and things like that. Yeah, there it is. And then finally, I got to the point where I probably prototyped like a dozen different bags, and I would talk to Casper and this and that, and they were good ideas just as they were without the molly webbing and all that on them. And then one day I just realized, I go, this is because I kept thinking of like ways I can make the bag better, and I says I'm making this too complicated. Like what I need to do is just let the window cleaner decide, because like that's one of the things I realized is that just because I think it's awesome doesn't mean every window cleaner is going to think it's awesome.
Yeah.
We all have our different little ways of doing things. And so that's when I came up with the modular system. I said, just let them build their own bag. Like here, just start off, here's the bag, and we'll make accessories as time goes on and different ones and this and that. And then they can just put it together however they want. Because there's a lot of guys that are like super minimalists. They just want like a bag for a towel and maybe a sill squeegee or something. And there's other guys that want to carry everything with them, in the bottle. So, and the guys in between. And I thought the nice thing about the modular thing is that it allows us to change it too. So our needs change from job to job, so we could change our bag too. We don't have to carry the same bag around for whether we're doing commercial or residential or mid-rise or high-rise or whatever the case is. And so, yeah, but all that to come all the way back around to your original thing is that it's just they always start off. The concept starts off, but by the time it gets to the end, for one reason or another, it's changed like quite a bit, and that's just the nature of the beast.
So Nick Williams, I don't know if you pay attention to Master Squeegee or not. He does a lot of cool videos. He's responded. The smart bag changed the game for me. I agree. I use the smart bag system. I use the lowrider. I'm not exactly a big dude. I'm about 5'7.5", 5'8", depending on what shoes I'm wearing. But 135 pounds. I don't need. I need something that's durable and made well, but not so bulky. So I use the lowrider system, and then I have the other the bag that goes on top too. So I rock the two bags. I kind of am a minimalist guy like you had mentioned. I carry a couple towels with me, another rag on the side, a couple squeegees, but I can get a mop 218 and like a 14 and an 8 in my bag and be comfortable and floating around. And then also I throw a little scrubber in there too. So
Mhm.
I find it to be one of the best products that you guys make. I've
Yep.
been
I'm
using.
using.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I'm using mine today. That's why I'm pulling it off the wall so I remember it so I don't have to leave it at home.
Yeah.
You go.
It's a great system.
Big job lined up today, Mark. What are you doing?
Inside and outside in a $1.5 million home that I have not set eyes on the job yet. I'm just subcontracting for a guy. So I'm walking into this blind. So my expectations and stress is up here in terms of what am I going to deal with. So I've already
Yeah.
seen a picture of the house on Google. It's got plantation shutters. I don't know if they need tracks cleaned. I don't know if screens are removed or not because I might just pop them inside and clean the bottom,
Yeah.
in the house. So
You don't
it's one
know.
of those fun days lined up for me real soon.
Well, hopefully it's not too bad. And
Hopefully it's an easy day. But I got the maker bag. I got the silencer to make my day nicer. Scoot in between the French colonial furniture.
yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like that. I mean, I think that with the smart bags that like initially, because like I said, everything is like you're going to pay more for the smart bags, but I mean, just the quality alone. I mean, once you pick one up, you're like, oh yeah, this is like night and
You're not gonna
day.
have to buy one forever. Yeah.
Yeah, but so when people get past that part of it, and realize that, hey, yeah, this is like an item that I'll keep probably for like years, and I could modify it too because
Mhm.
my needs are going to change, and so I have a bag that I could change along with my needs, and it's just kind of cool, I think, and it was so it's taken a minute for people to kind of catch on to it because a lot of guys, depending on where you're at in your business and stuff, if you're watching dollars really tight, you're first starting out, you don't have a lot of extra money, and you just are looking at the prices as you're shopping on these websites, like like okay, I want this and that. Oh, that one costs $80. This one only costs 20. I'm going to get this one for now. That kind of thing. So we do
Yeah.
until we can get a better appreciation for the other stuff, and we progress in our business and can afford different things like that. So
Absolutely.
I would like
And
it. I would love it if everything just cost $5. Like we just made it. Hey, all of our items are $5. Pick what you want. Like it's just, but it's just not. It's not real. Yeah. So out and again, all of the stuff is somebody still has to make it. Like it's
Yeah.
hand. This stuff doesn't come up off a line. I mean, there's people sitting behind the sewing machine over in Denmark. Several people we have working there, and that's what they do all day. Is they stitch and they do other things, but like so yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. High
well, and
quality.
I can expand on that a little bit too. Like when I first got started too, and when I first started seeing Maker mops, the mops are a little pricier than some of the other mops, but they feel so different in your hand, man. There's not another mop on the market that feels as sturdy and as well made as any of the Maker mops. They don't slip, they
Yeah.
don't slide in your hand as well. The handy sleeve and the Velcro, they work together like so beautifully. It feels different. And when you get a product like that in your hand and you can literally feel the difference, it's night
Mhm.
and day. So I
Yeah.
know that as soon as I went make a mop, I really haven't purchased another mop for day-to-day use. I mean, I've gotten other mops, but they're for me to test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not for me to use.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, they do last a long time too, because the ends aren't going to blow out on them. That was one thing that Mark Tanner had a real pet peeve about that. The ends blowing out. And I remember talking to him. I said, "Well, I'm working on a mop that not going to have to worry about that." And but yeah, it just depends on how you clean glass too. What sucks about the mops, that was another thing, is when the end starts wearing out, but the rest of the mop is in good shape. But now you got to throw the whole thing out because it's not going to stay on your bar or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm afraid that I say to Casper, I said, "Look, man, if we build all this stuff too well, then we're not going to have, it's going to be years before people come back and buy another one. He said, oh, don't worry about it. No, but I mean, we have some things that are consumables and other things that we just don't want to compromise on the value. Like, there's towels and soap and rubbers and all that kind of stuff. Those are,
Yeah.
you're always going to have to replace those. And, but yeah, so yeah, that's it.
Is there a product that you guys produce or make right now that has taken off better than you would have expected?
Um, I think they all like some products do better than others. I'm trying to think of one that is like the soap, the Orange Crush, for example. We started with that, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, but I didn't have a lot of high hopes for it. I was like, yeah, well, we just need to have a soap. That's why we have the soap, and so this hopefully we'll be able to justify having it in our inventory and people will buy it. And then the next thing you know, that was my mindset. And then the next thing you
Yeah.
know, it takes off. Everybody wants to sell, but we can't keep up with the orders. Like the Orange Crush, it's like so crazy. I never would have expected that on that product there. So there's one example.
Well, I can tell you firsthand, I love it. My friends love it. You guys were kind enough to set me up with a case to pass out over the summer. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but you guys help me share the love with other window cleaners this summer as I traveled from New York, New Jersey down the coast. I was passing out Zero and WCR swag, but I was also passing out Maker swag.
Yeah,
So you guys were kind enough to set me up to give out some people, and I'll be honest with you, the majority of the people that I saw on my summer vacation or on my summer road trip, they had not had any experience with the Crush.
yeah,
So they were super excited to get an opportunity to use that. I
yeah,
took it out to Kansas, and there's a company out there, Heart of America, and Gary Cranshaw's the owner. And I set up, I want to say 12 or 13 of his 30 guys, each with a jar, with a bottle of soap, and everybody was going bonkers for it. So it was
yeah.
a really cool way for you guys to help me out, to help other cleaners out, to let them know exactly what the product was all about.
I remember when I saw you in Las Vegas at the Golden Nugget. I don't know what it is about that name. It's just something about it. Where they had the convention. I remember you were excited about your trip and traveling around and stuff. And I was thinking to myself at the time, I go, like, wow, man, like he's really like into the. I was thinking about you. I said he's really like all about this, and so I started visualizing the road trip and the I commend you for that. I think it's pretty cool, actually. And I don't know anybody that's ever done that in the industry before except you. So
It means a lot to me, Richie. And going back to that IWCA, and before we came on live, um, I was going into what it meant to me to get an opportunity to meet you. Um, I had been trying to track you down for over 2 years. I went to my first convention in 2023.
why don't you send me a message, man?
So I did send you a message prior to that. I wasn't really too active in the pro window cleaning community back in 2023. I was there, and I was present, and I was posting a little bit, but I wasn't too active. I was I sat and watched. I people watched, and I watched how people interacted with one another for a good 2 years before I started making myself putting myself out there.
Yeah,
And then I went to the huge in 2023 in hopes of meeting you and meeting Jersey. Jersey tells me, "Hey man, you won't catch him here at this one.
yeah,
Maybe next one." The next one came and left. You weren't there at that one either. And
yeah.
then I heard that you were going to be at the IWCA, and I was like, I need to be there. And to be honest, the IWCA was a life changer for me. Not just professionally, but it was personally a life changer. Mark and I really hadn't we had some conversations online in the chat rooms and what have you. But Mark sends me a message a couple days in advance that says, "Hey, I'm gonna go a day early. Do you want to drive and meet me? And we can hang out for a day before the stuff even starts." So Mark and I went a day early. And then he and I spent some time together, visiting and
People
talking
watching.
and
Yeah.
people watching. And then, you and Damien and everybody starts to roll in and Jersey and everybody. And it was just probably one of the best weeks professionally wise because I was around all of my friends and all of my peers. But
Yeah.
personally, it was like I was checking things off my bucket list, man. I got a chance to meet you. I got a chance to have dinner with Niels. I got a chance to meet Sorbo. I mean, it was it
Yeah.
was a really it was a life-changing couple days for me. You brought up something earlier about like the hammer.
Mhm.
I can't tell you another industry where men and women get to use tools and get the opportunity to actually physically and personally meet the people who have come up with these ideas.
Yeah, right.
I don't think a carpenter can go and say, "Oh, I met the guy that invented the hammer," or "I don't, I met the
And
guy who made the skill saw," or I met the guys who are the brains behind all this. And to me, that was so fucking valuable, Richie. So just kudos to you. Thank you for also being a nice guy and not being an a-hole. It was just like I was I was in my happy place.
no, I think well, one of the things about the industry with meeting the hammer guy as opposed to the squeegee guy is that the window cleaning industry is a subculture, man. It's like people are so surprised when I say, "Yeah, I'm going to a convention." They go, "What convention you going to?" I'm like, "A window cleaning convention," and they're like, "That's a thing?" I go, "Yeah,
Yeah.
man." Like,
I had that story last month with somebody.
yeah. So they don't believe it, and it's kind of like birding too. Birding is like a subculture. I mean, there's a lot,
Yeah.
probably more people that bird than clean glass for sure, but it's still kind of small enough that you're not gonna. And people are just like, I can't believe that's a thing. So, um, yeah, but it's cool. I like I like doing the conventions as a vendor. When you're there, sometimes it gets a little tedious because you're basically man in the booth. That's why it's nice to have people there with you to share the load, so to speak, so you can kind of scamper off and go around and talk to other people, and you're not just stuck at your little booth all the time. So it was, um, yeah.
Well, I think it's also important too that you also, I'm not the only person who wants to meet you. There's a bunch of other people that may not have another chance. So I think it's important that even though you have the booth, that it is, that you're out there wandering around and checking out other stuff. So uh, I think it is awesome that you do that.
Coming up in February. Is
There's
that
yeah, that's the IWCA. Now it's not going to be in Vegas, so it's going to be in Orlando. I
okay?
believe it's middle of the month. I want to say 18th, 19th, 20th, something like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
The DoubleTree, I want to say.
I think I'm going.
SeaWorld.
Are you
I think
going again?
we're going to do that one. Yeah. So I was at the World Convention in Amsterdam last.
So that was another
Me.
question I was going to ask you. What is one of the coolest things or places that window cleaning has taken you? Because I know that you've been all over the place, but so I never realized how much I would get out of window cleaning and how much it gives back to me. You've been
Right.
all over the place. What are some of the coolest places or some of the coolest things that you've seen in this business?
This unexpected treasures, man. Like the my life. I mean, honestly, like I never thought that I would be starting a manufacturing company for tools. I mean, it was the furthest thing from my mind when I started cleaning glass. I got into glass cleaning like in '86. I did it for some years, and then I started businesses and that, and then I got out of it for a little while, and then I got back into it. Um, and that's and then the next thing you know, I'm doing like little makeshift tools and modifying things and this and that. I really got into that. And then the next thing you know, the Mayyker Products, and I don't know, like that alone, like that whole story is just takes it basically window cleaning has taken me all over the world. I mean, I've been to Denmark, I've been to Finland, I've been to Ireland, I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Sweden, I've been to, and I'm sure I'm missing some other places over there, you know, and obviously I met you in Las Vegas, which is,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I
Richie, that is something. So American Window Cleaner magazine. I've been over the last year. I've been fortunate enough to write a couple articles for them, share some of the stuff that's gone on with me professionally, personally. I've battled some addiction, alcoholism, um, just window cleaners. We're fucking wild, right? I mean, a lot of us have a nice little backstory. And American Window Cleaner has given me an opportunity to put some of that stuff out there to let others know that, hey, they're not alone. And they just popped into the chat too, and they wanted me to let you know they'd love to have you as a partner. So get a hold of Lacey or Jersey, and they wanted to say what's up.
yeah. Yeah, I admit, like, one of the, I don't know, I'm a little, when it comes to social media and stuff like that, I'm not exactly chomping at the bit to, like, I go on, I have a Facebook and an IG account and stuff like that, and I go on there and I listen to reels and memes and, just have like some fun with it, but I don't really engage that much because it's kind of uh, as you know, I mean, it's just it's a real volatile kind of platform. Like you could go
It sure can be.
hot to cold, and people are extreme with their opinions, and then the next thing you know, you have people battling and getting emotional over the inner zones, through texting and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is like a bit much. Like even on the forum. Pro window cleaning forum. I mean, sometimes I've witnessed some like real heated debates on there, and people just at each other's throats. And then but a lot, it's not all that way. I mean, a lot,
No,
uh, it's super supportive, and that's what keeps me coming back is, when you witness guys like you, they're encouraging, they're positive, they're supportive, they're just here to help. They're not trying to grind an axe or be right about something, or virtuous or whatever. And so that's you just got to kind of. But I guess it's like that anywhere in any industry with anybody. All kinds of
you're
people.
No, you're 100% right too. And part of the reason, I mentioned earlier that I kind of sat back and watched in pro window cleaning for a good year or two because I
Yeah,
wanted to see who I wanted to interact with. You know what I mean? If somebody goofs off or somebody goofs on somebody 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, it's, you can kind of tell it's their buddy. But if then
yeah,
some guy just keeps, if they're constantly in a bad mood and just shitty all the time, that's not somebody I want to interact with. So like, I tried to pick and choose who I wanted to uh, befriend, and I wanted to make sure I wanted to do my own research on certain people. You know what I mean? Find out if this is how they really are, or if it's just a front. Um, and in this industry, because we have the conventions and because we have other outlets, and because I've been fortunate enough to travel and meet some of these people firsthand and learn from them firsthand,
yeah,
I realized that there's no other industry like it, and I couldn't be in a better place. I
yeah,
did also realize though, and thanks to Mark as well too, like, hey, there's a spot for something like what it is that we're trying to do. Having coffee with people in the mornings, helping others get their day off on the right foot. If we are able to help people get in a good mood before they leave for the day, maybe have them leave with a smile on their face. Um, that transcends that it's contagious as a matter of fact. If we continue to promote positivity and happiness, and it doesn't, there's bad shit in the world. There's stuff that goes on, but if we continue to lift people up, they take that back out into their day, into their community, into whatever it is they're doing, and they pay it forward. They do it to they help their clients. They open the door for the lady at the store. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's just all the little things that we can do to make people's day better. And you know, Mark really kind of pushed me to do this, and so far so good. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you didn't do it, I'd be sitting here talking to myself and Jennifer Lopez over here.
I'm glad you
uh,
glad you are
so
doing.
we
Well,
are
thank you.
trying, man. We are definitely trying. Is there, you mentioned that you are aware of the social media, but it's not necessarily something that you spend a ton of time on. Are there any window cleaners slash um, social media guys that are window cleaners that every time you see them, you have to stop and take a peek?
You know, I got to be quite honest, not really. When after you do, most of the window cleaners I engage with, usually it's through via messaging, and you know the whole like one of the things that when you clean glass day in and day out, you know the last thing you want to do is watch somebody clean glass on video.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's nice. Like I'll scroll through them and I'll just hit like, or you know if I know them or something like that. And
Yeah.
but just to be brutally honest about that, I mean usually when I go on social media, I'm looking to escape. You know, like I want to like sometimes I'll listen to news reels, but mostly I'm just like scrolling through memes and, and stuff like that. You know, just to kind of get a laugh about things. Yeah, so that's how I approach that. Yeah.
I get that, and it makes sense. I feel like it's almost gotten to a point for me to where I just by habit now basically scroll through and see what everybody's up to. It's become second nature, so just one
Yeah,
of
no,
those things.
I mean, there's that too. Like I'll go through forums. Like sometimes I'll read forums just to hear what people are saying, you know, about products and things like that. Like, you know, so I mean, if I do stop on window cleaning pages and people, it's usually to research and see, like, you know, if what they're saying about different products, not just ours, but other products. And so,
Yeah.
you know, you get a feel for what's going on in the industry. So there's a certain amount of that that has to be done for sure. But when I Casper and I first started, none of us wanted to do the whole marketing thing. We're like, oh my God, like we Casper was really good at, you know, he's an engineer by trade. He specializes in rubbers and plastics. I designed stuff and, you know, I got that creative thing going on. But neither one of us were like brimming over with enthusiasm about, you know, doing videos and promoting the products. Like
Yeah.
we, I think over the last several years, we've gotten a little bit better with engaging people in terms of. But then enter Nils. Now Nils, you know, he wants to blab it up with everybody and make videos and do, you know, all of that. And Casper is like, we're like, yeah, let this guy do it. We don't want to do that shit, man. You know, but
Mhm.
so that's why part of the reason why it works good. And we have a pretty good marketing we're presence, I think, on the inner zones because of that now. But
You abs-
prior to that, Casper and I were just like grudgingly, you know, he would message me or just call me and say, "Hey, man, you got to do a product video on this, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh man, okay," you know. So like, I would do it just because I know, you know, hey, we're in
that it needs to be done.
needed to be done. Yeah. So yeah,
Hey, so Jake Van Orden, he wants to know outside of window cleaning, what are you doing to keep those guns in shape?
I go to the gym about 6 days a week usually. And I just work out each muscle group twice a week. Eat clean. That's the thing about exercise, man. People don't realize that I've had people approach me, "Hey, can you help me get in shape?" I go, "Yeah, are you willing to change your diet?" And they're like, you know, like it's like you could work out till you're blue in the face. You're not going to get any results unless you're eating clean. Like, you know, you got to eat the right proteins and carbs and um, you know, fats and things like that. And otherwise, it's just like you're working against yourself. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Um, I know that you're always tinkering, you're always trying to make product evolve. Is there anything that we should be on the lookout for? You got anything that's in the hopper that you, I don't know, maybe you want to put out there? Hey, we got this coming, we're doing that.
Yeah,
Anything that you want to share with your boys Goo and Deeds and the rest of the people out there?
yeah. I mean, I have a list of ideas and prototypes and things like I'll be honest with you, Jason, I probably forgot more ideas than I have right now. I mean, so I'm trying to keep up with everything. But what we're trying to do, generally speaking, is complete their line. So like basically we want to have everything you need that has anything to do with cleaning glass. That's from
Awesome.
squeegee to mops to poles to water fed to this and that and this and that. So it just such stuff takes time. But what I would say what I'm working on, what I've been working on lately are squeegee handles,
Okay.
different types. And so we have one that probably is going to come out in a couple of months, and it'll be the first of a line of several squeegee handles that will have in channels and things like that. So that's
That's super exciting, Richie.
yeah,
Cool, for sure.
they're they're up on the list. Now here's the thing with all of this stuff. We were talking before about like how products go through metamorphosis. Like for example, the silencer, we're still making changes on that thing. Even
Yeah.
like we have this high tech binding that we're putting on all the silencers now because we were getting some complaints about the breaking hangs there, and the binding, and we tried all different kind of stuff, and now we finally have, we're not going to make a big announcement about it. We just
Yeah.
change, and so the silencer itself has probably gone through, I don't know, a half a dozen changes and modifications since we launched it. And I think the same thing is going to happen with our squeegee handles and basically anything we release. We get it out there, the best we can. We launch it and then see what people are saying. See how the products are holding up. Are they breaking? Are
Yeah.
they uh, are people liking them? Are they too much this way, not enough that way? Blah blah blah. And we just like do little tweaks and modifications, whatever it is, changing materials, changing the style, whatever the case is. So that's the process of all of that. No matter what product we release, even something simple, you know.
So squeegee handles, are you gonna do channels yourself? Or are you gonna have them made the channels or the handles to fit certain brands? What are you thinking on that?
We're gonna make our own channels. I have a couple of designs out on those now. Probably the first squeegee and channel we come out with is just gonna probably be something basic. Um, and the idea is to obviously we want to do a universal approach to things. So if they ideally we want our handles to fit every
Yeah.
else's channels. We're going to shoot for that, and for the most part, I think we're going to be able to achieve that. On there might be one particular one that I'm working on where that might not be possible, but we're still, we're trying to, appeal to.
Early stages. Early stages.
Mhm.
I I can't tell you how excited I am to hear you say about, that kind of whole line. That's just super exciting. Um, I don't I purchased almost all of your gear so far. I don't do a ton of pole work, but I think the first pole I ever bought was a Maker Mini.
Mm,
And it's just a great pole. It feels wonderful in my hand. And I think it serves a purpose exactly for what it's intended. And it's just a kick-ass pole. But that's all of your gear. It's, made for us. It's made by a cleaner, and that's what makes it so awesome. You know what I mean? It's like it's designed by one of us, and it just they continue to kick ass. And I thank you for putting out such awesome gear, man.
mhm. Yeah, I try to do that with, I mean, sometimes like we come up like Casper or Nils will say, "Hey, yeah, what about this?" And I go, "Not so much," because I know it's not going to fly. I go, You guys don't understand. These are window cleaners. They're not going to use that. They're not going to like that. I mean, yay on your effort, but don't waste your time on it because it's just not going to, sometimes I
I
have to
get you.
kind of come in there like that. And that's where I'm beneficial because they have to run stuff by me and they'll say, I'm kind of like the Oz behind the curtain,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the nice thing about having somebody that's not just has window cleaning business, but has experience with all different kind of tools over the years and have watched the industry. I mean, that's a few decades, from '86 up to now. I've gotten to see what's been happening with tools and things all along the way. Just like guys like Mark Tanner, um, I don't know if he's still in the chat or not. And Squeegee Life, TJ, he's got a lot of experience too. Um, I went out to see him one time in Ohio, actually, with Mark on his birthday. It was his
Nice.
40th birthday. Yeah. So anyway, I got sidetracked. What were you saying?
Nothing. I'm super excited that, you kind of shared the, hey, we're working on a squeegee handle. It's going to be basic in the beginning, but, it'll evolve. And that gets my juices flowing. That makes my Wednesday even happier.
Yeah. Well, probably we'll end up with several different handles, for example, and we'll just keep like some guys just want a basic handle. They don't want
Yeah.
something fancy and spins around and does all, they just want a regular, whatever. And so we're going to try to, what's the old expression? Have a wrench for every nut.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, that's basically what our industry is already. I mean, but now you're
Yep.
going to have something that is specific maker, which is fucking gangster. I love it. Because like I said, I do rep the brand. Um, and I think it is by hands down, the best out there. So I'm just excited to see what you guys come up with. Um, we're about to wrap up here shortly. This time has actually flown by super fast. I told you it'd be easy peasy, man. It's just whew, shooting the breeze, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shooting the breeze.
Good time.
Um, we on typically on Wednesdays, Mark and I talk about what we have going on today or the rest of the week. What's in your bucket Wednesday. Mark kind of hit on it. What are you going to specialize or what are you going to use today for some of your tools, Mark? What do you got? What do you got in your bucket?
What do you got?
Yeah. Well, I'm taking the silencer. My favorite thing on the whole belt is the belt itself. It's the sturdiest belt I've ever used for window cleaning, the Maker belt, and that's one of my favorite deals, if you will. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna be using some walnut pad or some bronze pad, getting the exterior windows today on this nice home. I'm gonna have to check for low E tint, all that fun stuff, because I have no idea if the insides are tinted or the spray removal. So I've got a fun day ahead of me. But uh, yeah, just gonna be using these for if they've got Frenchies. But just yeah, the Maker, the bag, the silencer. That's my tool of the day today because it goes inside, it goes outside. Outside, I'll be using my ketchup bottle, and then I'll take this off when I go inside the house.
I like the
So
ketchup bottle. That was
yeah,
my idea.
yeah, it works
That was
nice.
my idea. There you
Get
go.
the mop, but can't use that in the house, not on the walnut floors or whatever. Of course, they're gonna have.
Well, the ketchup bottle is very unassuming, man. I mean, people want to get a fancy thing with this lid, and I go, no, dude, just get a ketchup lid on there
Yep,
and just all they need.
squirt it down. It works great.
Mhm. Mhm. Cool.
I too. So I have, let's see, this morning, Billy's already out at the airport towers. He's cleaning glass and air traffic control tower about 20 minutes away from me. Then we're going to a big house in Northeast Scottsdale, almost carefree.
Mhm.
Got some amazing windows. I too, my maker bag goes with me on every job.
Yeah.
And this is just, that's basic for me. I got a 218s, a 14. I got my Maker, what do you got here? Track brush that is always effective. One
Yep.
of my favorite tools that I didn't realize I loved as much as I do because I've gone through quite a few Home Depot of those little track brushes and they're trash.
Mhm.
Um, their brand Anvil or whatever their brand is, HD doesn't compare with the Maker. Spend the extra $1.50 or $2, whatever it is, it lasts longer.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm here for it today. It's going to be a kick-ass day. And like I said, I don't do Windows without my Maker products. It's just they go hand in hand for me now. I remember buying my first Maker mop thinking, what am I doing? I can't believe I'm spending money. But at that point I was poor. I'm poor again, but but I
Yeah.
know the difference between good quality product and something that is just subpar. And I
Mhm.
just won't do it anymore. I can't accept it. I have to use good gear.
Yeah.
I'm spoiled now. What can I say? Um, this is also, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. Another thing that we like to do is give our guests an opportunity to give a shout out to anybody that they'd like to, or send some love, anybody, any organization, any people you want to give thanks to, or just let them know that you're thinking of them.
Well, I'm going to shout out to you two guys for having me on
Thank you.
because I didn't realize how, we talked earlier about uh, the social media engagement, and I don't really engage that much. But this is a really cool thing that you guys are doing, and I appreciate you
Thank you.
thinking of, like Ant-Man says, "Thanks for thinking of me." Remember that line in the when he was
Yeah.
talking to Captain?
Richie, I'm telling you, man, I've been getting an opportunity just to chat you up for 5 minutes in Vegas, it wasn't enough. I've been hoping and dying for something like this.
Yeah.
Eventually, one of my goals is to have some sit down interviews with people, and then have a record like a one-on-one and get a little more in depth, and not necessarily all window cleaning. You're definitely one of the top people on my list of people that I would love to interview. So you're all Maker Products and Richie Blue have been on my mind is since the day I put the product in my hand. So shout out to you. Thank you. And that's really kind of you to say. Like I
Yeah.
said, Mark,
Yeah. You know.
cheers to Mark,
Cheers, guys.
because he's really the brains behind a lot of this. And it wouldn't be going on if it wasn't for him always, getting behind the scenes and doing all this stuff. So
Mhm.
Deeds, who you
Well,
want to
thank you.
give some love to?
Shout out to Richie. Thanks for being on. It was awesome to pick your brain a
Yeah.
bit. You've designed some of the best window stuff around, so thank you for that. Thank you, Jason, for co-piloting here. Thanks everyone for watching, checking in. We've got a really cool guest Friday. We've got Jason Knight coming in to tell us his story about safety and how to be on the lookout. And then next week we have our Halloween episode. It should be fun. Good time.
You guys, please tune in next week. I'm Richie. I got to ask you one more question because somebody's asking me this. I think I've heard this answer before, but why is the company? Why did you name it Maker?
Maker because I was one day working on a product and I said, I'm creating stuff here. I'm making stuff. It's kind of like what I said to myself. And then I was thinking, I go, well, God's a maker and creator of everything. And I'm kind of like into God. And so I was like, why don't I give God credit and call it Maker, like our Maker
Nice.
product. Yeah. So there's kind of a spiritual thing. I know some people are kind of anti whatever, but I don't care. So, yeah, that's how I came up with the name Maker.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
And Richie, just so you know too, like I'm a spiritual person as well. We often talk about faith. When some of our friends aren't doing so well, we'll send out prayer requests and we'll let them know that we're thinking of them. So that's just how we roll in this show. Our fellow men and women are they're important to us. And if someone's in a bind or in a jam, we want to let them know that we're thinking of them as well. That's kind of why we do the shout out thing as well too. It's like we just want to keep everybody on a positive aspect. A lot of guys are going through things, health issues, pains, all this other stuff, depression, fucking anxiety, stress, financial
The rest of
issues,
us are married. Yeah.
all of that shit.
Those are the two
So,
everybody's two biggest issues are romance and finance, man, right? So,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, dude, it means, like I said, it means a ton to us both that you took some time to sit down with us. I'm really glad that we got an hour to chill with you. It means the world to me. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with when it comes to the squeegee handles and the channels. I'm excited as all get out for them. And if there's anything that Mark and I can do in the future to help promote your product, you let us know. We're here for you at any freaking time.
Thank you very much.
We'll do whatever we can to help out.
I enjoyed myself with you guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, do it
You're
again
the
soon.
best. You look sharp as always, brother. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. Like Mark said, Jason night on Friday. Next week, we're going to do a whole week of Halloween stuff, man.
Oh, that'll
So
be
Ooh,
if you're ready
spooky.
to have a good chuckle in the morning, pop in next week. But until then, see you next time, knuckleheads. We'll see you
Yeah,
guys on Friday.
change the
Thanks,
rubbers,
Richie. We
everybody.
really appreciate you, buddy.
See you guys.
Yeah, thanks.